How's it going, folks? Once again, I'm Nev from Nev's Tech Bits, otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood tech guy. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet. Let's take a look at popular mechanics. December Christmas specials. Don't forget to shave your wiener in the winter for the whammons. I'll never get sick of how they get women to sell things to us.
Oh, George, is that filter really as awesome as you say?
Yeah, Melinda. Would you like to touch it?
Yes, George, but just the tip. Just the rim of the tip of it.
It measures, it calculates, it computes. Geez, I didn't even know they had measures in the 80s. Horses, selling cigarettes for Christmas. Because you know your daughter's going to ask you for a horse, and you know that thing's going to smoke, so you got to get it some Marlboros. December 1938, they were definitely thinking about darker things than consumerism. Yeah, I'd rather be thinking more about tomorrow's train, thank you. I wonder if they could fit a Christmas tree in there. Oh, the robot's going to steal his brain. No. Legit though, I would never take something like that off road. You'd just be begging. You'd just be begging to be. Wait, is that rear wheel drive? No way. You'd just be begging to be stuck. Now that's what I'm talking about. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. There's a million toys of Toys R Us that I can play with. Open till midnight. Wow. Oh wow, that must have been a thing. It'd be kind of creepy walking into a Toys R Us at 11 o'clock at a certain age as a kid. But what am I talking about? What do I know? I knew like two people who had that power pad. Bikes too, trains too, video games. It's the biggest toy store there is. Imagine paying the same price for both these games. Like Jaws was horrible. It was bad. Geez, the prices of bikes haven't changed too much now that we got slave labor making it in foreign countries, right? Like, no joke, but seriously, okay, let's get a closer look. We got never had tried that Defend the Crown. Never heard of that one. Of course, we got Contra, Skate or Die. Jackal, never played that one. Bayou Bill, that was a wonderful one. It's Hicks. It's Corporal Hicks. You really could tell what games suck just by looking at the LJN logo, couldn't you? What the frick was up with LJN? They made so many horrible games. They must have had something on the inside, like insider trading. Or it was like a friend and friend thing. I don't know. They just always sucked. Oh, the child inside me just had wow. Whoa. Look at that thing, TYCO. That's how you spell RC. It looks to me like that's not getting energy from the rails. It's probably just on the units itself. That is such a cool looking, so 80s. I wonder if the plastic would have held. Okay, it's a super train. Alright. No, that thing's getting energy from the rails. It's got a transformer right there. That just looks like a plastic. Oh, I gotta figure this out now. That looks like an on switch right over the hatch.
This train
Is taking off.
Super turbo train with daredevil jump.
Okay, yeah, that thing's pulling power from the track. Of course, we got these ones over here, which is more the standard. Really popular back in the day. I've seen people filling up basements with this on the internet. There will never not be something cool about remote control cars back in the day. It's so expensive. You just had to have them. You just had to have them in the 80s. I didn't even know that these freaking things existed until a long time later. The Master System. I had already loved the Genesis until I figured out what the Master System was. A lot better than the Nintendo with making arcade style games. There were so many of those light guns back in the day. I had such a collection of them that I had even thought about making a gun rack for them. The Atari 7800? I don't remember that one at all. Oh, wow, I had no idea they made these giant train sets still in the 80s. I thought they stopped that. That looks so 70s. Jeez, nice. Got a set of those at the yard sale from the 60s. When you turn them on, oh, they stunk, but they were fun to play with. This is a very classic. In the 80s, that kind of frame, that kind of jump buggy was all the rage. I hardly ever seen any boats, though, I gotta say. Everyone on the block had one of these. It was really funny. Every now and then at school, two kids would bring a remote control car, and they both have the same radio length, and they drive each other's cars around. They drive into each other, and like they get confused and then drive off in different directions. Oh man. Gotta be careful with this stuff these days, right? You gotta make sure it doesn't look too real. You get capped. Oh man, so I'm really surprised to be seeing this stuff in here, like G.I. Joe. Let's face it, okay, I can sit and talk about this stuff. G.I. Joe back in the day just unfolded so much. There was so much engineering and so much, and yet it was so basic. And they all stayed together. Like, you lose the guns and stuff back in the day, but these days they have ball joints and pegs and everything just falls right out and you can clip them right back in. That's fine, but man, you send one of them down the stairs and an arm blows off and you never find that sucker again. But back in the day, this unit, it folded up into three and it stayed in one giant heavy unit. Man, that was something. I didn't know these figures were popular back then. Cool. I'm never much of a sports fan. The Pretenders hide the Transformers inside. Inside one, there's the other, and they both transform and combine to form another. Pogo ball, it's so much fun. The Etch a Sketch animator. Oh, I love it. I haven't heard of those things before. Lovely. Crossfire was so frickin' awesome. So was Fireball Island. I got that in the basement actually right now. Fireball Island was only, oh, I'm screaming on the inside. It was only 18 bucks. Crossfire's only 23. Fireball Island mint goes for 500 Canadian these days. So that's like 550 in the States. This is the dawning of the age of inclusivity. You can tell because I think yeah, never mind. I'm not getting into that. Put your hands up in the air. Put your hands up in the air. Please the alcoholic in your family this year by helping them speed and avoid traffic fines while they're driving home drunk, probably. Because being alcoholic is very Christian. I want a stealth bomber for Christmas, please. Wait, is that a switchblade? You get switchblades from magazines in the 80s? Don't open that gift too soon, Mary. There's a switchblade in there. Wait till a man does it. Oh yeah, not only would I like those tools, but I'd like a nice workbench or the ability to own a garage with the money that I make, though I am at the age I am in the time that I am in Canada. It's interesting. There's no room, there's no land to buy in Canada, though it is frickin' huge. At least no land I can afford working in a factory with that generational wealth. Holy frick, they made heft kits like that? You could make your own CD player and it would look that good? Seriously. You could build your own CD player? I had no idea. I feel so silly for not knowing. Here's a gift guide for a butler in a box. A mini thingy, a mini bike, and a thermostat, okay? Oh, Olympus camcorders. Jeez, we have so frickin' many of them. Okay, the list of colors and how they... Alright. Alright. Man, I miss these things. Actual physical moving parts. This is what we men want. Every generation. We all freaking love trains. I've never heard a woman scoff at a man's train collection. Like, they'll scoff at everything these days, especially action figures or collectibles. I've never heard women scoff at baseball cards or trains. Damn, I wish they said what scale they were, because there's so many different scales. They call them like HO 1, 2, 3, whatever. I think this is the standard one that my generation's used to. That's my father's generation. And that's, oh my god, so cute. Look how cute. New breed and armchair athletics, yeah. Oh boy, Tiny Town USA. You could make all of these things for your kid. 1987. Arr, we be digging for treasure this Christmas. Outrun your alcoholism and the cops. Joy to the world. Alright, it looks like Christmas actually started in the 60s. Because when we go further back, it gets darker. Yeah, they ain't even thinking about Christmas here in 37. That's some interesting original retro-futurism art there, though. And then if we go 75 years ago, there ain't nothing festive about that at all in 1912. It's like, did they know it was Christmas? Huh. That's a collectible phone. Huh. That looks like a cassette player. There were cassette players that... Oh, it has its own TV? Remarkable. Oh, remarkable. That receipt paper would be freaking expensive. Interesting scanner, though. Handheld copier, eh? I come across these spelling aces at yard sales every now for about $5. Interesting. Not the VCR. We've seen those a million times. What's up with that thing? Oh, it's universal remote control. That's pretty interesting. Reactive armor. That's pretty Christmassy. That looks like some sort of Jim Henson puppet. Remember back in the day when people didn't buy, but they went out and built their own? Yeah, good times. Is that the Thunderdome woman? Is that the woman from the Thunderdome? Geez, she's terrifying. And check this out. Striking new Cobras. I didn't know Cobra's name was actually good. I thought they were like a B-lister name. Apparently not. Information radio is on the air. What other radio is there? Huh, not much Christmas in there. This one looks like it has Christmas potential. I remember checking this out. Teaching toys. Toys that the kids would probably play with if you were right there with them, interacting with them. But if you weren't, they wouldn't touch them, I bet. Looks like we were really falling into the corporate mentality here. Nobody wanted to work outside anymore. And the Whammons were so happy to have the rich man. Damn, that is so 80s. Huh, I guess Popular Mechanics was never all that Christmassy, eh? Oh well. Stay tuned for part 2.